Across Newcastle and the Hunter, 2NURFM 103.7. It's time to welcome in our exercise physiologist, Mark Goswell, who, Mark, today you want to take a look at something that has been around a lot longer than I had ever thought it was. Pilates, and as always, oils ain't oils.
Oils aren't oils, and Pilates is one of those things that has kind of grown in popularity over the last 20 years, but it has been around since the late 1800s.
And that blew my mind. I can first remember sort of coming into my consciousness, if you will, I want to say 20 years ago, where some of the cool hip people were doing. I thought, this must be some new trend, some new craze.
Yeah, Hollywood made it popularised, and it was, I think it was around the late 90s.
Sounds about
something
right.
around that. But it's literally been around since the 1800s. The guy that actually designed it or come up with the concept, Joseph Pilates, where it got its name, he actually called it contrology.
It's because Joseph wasn't a cool enough name for an exercise trend.
Yeah, that's right. But I suppose I want to talk about it today because there's so many fitness Pilates or reformer Pilates studios popping up all over in Newcastle, and it's becoming quite popularised. But there's a distinct difference between the fitness Pilates and your traditional Pilates studios.
Okay, so let's split the hairs on this one. The regular Pilates, is that for everybody, and the fitness is for certain groups, or have I got that around the wrong way?
It's kind of like we always talk about every week. It's that individualised process, but going with the exercise or the regime that sort of suits your needs. So those sort of reformer Pilates classes where you've got 10 to 15 reformers. A reformer is one of the Pilates machines. It's basically they come in, one size fits all. Everyone's doing the same exercise. It's fantastic for developing your core strength, long, lean muscles, working through all the stabilizers through the body, but it is a fitness class. It's a one size fits all. So if you're going into these classes with a back injury, a neck injury, a shoulder injury, a knee injury, or some type of pathology that you're thinking, geez, Pilates is really good for this, it can be detrimental to you. But if you go down the traditional Pilates classes where you've got multitudes of different equipment, so you've got your reformer, you've got your trap table, you've got your wonder chair. These are traditional Pilates machines that are second to none in terms of a rehab facility or the ability to actually get you a lot stronger and rehab your injuries. But there's a really big difference between the two.
Of course there is. There always is. If we have some issues, like if we have, are we sort of more at risk if we do the wrong type of Pilates?
Yeah, 100%. And the problem with these fitness Pilates classes is because it is a one-size-fits-all, you can get kind of caught up in that sort of mass mentality and be doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And the thing,
similar to the fitness
the
training,
CrossFit, the boot camps, and all that sort of stuff. And
just
you can
instead of flipping tractor tires, you're flipping the wonder chair, mate.
Yeah. And so, look, it's just one of those things obviously you have to be careful about. And if you do have some type of niggling injury or if you haven't tried it before, the traditional Pilates studios, and usually they are a little bit more qualified in terms of have at least diploma qualifications in Pilates as opposed to repertoire qualifications and just understanding movements. It is a deeper form of training. There are a lot more availability to particular exercises that target the injuries that you may or may not have or the niggles that you may or may not have. But the other thing is too, most of the traditional Pilates studios are an individualised approach. So when you actually go into there, you are doing your own individually designed program. So it's obviously going to be targeted towards your needs and targeted towards what you want to get out of it, and you can set your own goals and things like that.
So essentially, as with anything that can live in the rehabilitation space or universe, if you will, it's got to be tailored to you because we've all got different things going on and we're just all different.
Yeah, and it's about what you're trying to get out of it. Is it just for fitness? Is it just to get a workout? Or is it targeting around what you actually need with it, to get better quality of life? So it's horses for courses, so to speak. So you've really got to just do your research about what you're actually aiming to do, what are your actual goals, and then pick the studio that is necessary for your means. So look, if you're making some inquiries, there's so many different studios around. There are your fitness Pilates, there's your traditional Pilates, and it's one of those things that when you're making your inquiries and you're making your phone calls, it's a very simple question. Is this a traditional studio, and am I getting individualized services or individualized programs, or is it a one size fits all? And then go down that path. I suppose the thing to understand is Pilates can be unbelievably beneficial for you, but it's like anything, if you get the wrong information in the wrong hands, it can be somewhat detrimental to you at times. So, it's not so much the craft that is the issue. It's not so much the exercise modality. It's the issue. It can be sometimes the people that are delivering it.
I actually want to wait till you actually come in and endorse the idea of flipping tyres. It's going to happen.
It may not happen in this decade, and I may get old and senile. And
we'll find
look, flipping tyres is.
I'm going to find some.
Let's just leave that one alone.
I'm going to find some research that actually backs it up. I'm going to see what I can do. We'll see what we can do there. As always, mate, a pleasure. We'll talk to you next time through. All right,
mate, and I'll find some research on tyre flipping while I'm at it.
There he is, our exercise physiologist, Mark Goswell. If you'd like to connect with him, maybe to refute his lack of tyre edge there, or Pilates, anything else, you can send him an email right now on that's at askmark@2NURFM.com.